And those of you who are not, on video, there's no pressure for that. Every once a month, I get dressed up to go to work and come to this meeting. Otherwise, I'm in my workout clothes. I'm just kidding. Normally, I'm in my workout clothes, but when we have these meetings and stuff, it's nice to be interacting with some people outside the organization too, because otherwise it's just me and my guitarist behind me as Spencer saw, which I don't play. They're my husband's. But thank you everyone for joining us. Again, for the record, it's November 15th. We have been having these calls since Christy. I don't think I was in the first one. So would it be?
Right. Yeah, it was early March. So it was like within 2 weeks of the conflict breaking out.
Yeah. So for a while they were weekly, and then we switched them to every other week. And now we're at a month, every month. And some of this is just because we have some new people on the call. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the history here. We want to continue to keep them once a month unless everybody feels that we need to space them out more or make them more condensed. The intent and purpose behind this is to keep some energy and attention around the crisis in Ukraine and leveraging our network and connections and our abilities as a forwarder and those that we interact with as shippers, as customers on LinkedIn or wherever, to continue to bring attention to this and leverage that network to do good. And that's something that I think we've demonstrated that is a core part of the principle behind our company, that everybody on this call, and for those of you who have been on the call before, I don't want to repeat everything we've already gone over, but there's been a lot of collaboration that's occurred that would not have occurred it could have possibly occurred, but it occurred because we had provided a platform for people who wouldn't normally interact to kind of work together. And so the success of this initiative and the continued assistance that we're able to provide to those in Ukraine and some of the surrounding countries is a credit to everybody that's participated here. It's not a vector credit for anything. It's more just we're trying to do the right thing and really keep the attention focused over there and what we can do for that. So we do have some new names and faces on the call, and I would love if some of you wouldn't mind like introducing yourselves or how you came to hear about the call or maybe why you're here. If it's just a curiosity or maybe if there's something specific we can address to help make you feel really fulfilled when we finish of, how you can help spread this message for us. Any volunteers to go first?
I will volunteer. So Hello, everyone. My name is Desiree, and I'm actually with Real Trucking. I'm on this call today because the executive assistant, Natasha, was unable to make it. She's currently in a meeting as well. And we were just advised that we should join this meeting just to get a little bit of intel to see what you guys are about and how we could potentially help contribute to the matter.
Awesome. Okay. Tell us about Real Trucking. Where do you work? What do you do?
So we are located in Broadview, Illinois. I'm actually the front office manager here, and I just coordinate the little meetings and anything that has to do with the office, helping out the other departments, whether it's operations or dispatch, our DRM department, our safety department to help with our drivers, and so on and so forth.
Perfect.
Cool. And do you guys just operate in the Chicago area or?
No, so we actually do have an office in Ukraine.
Wow.
So that's probably another reason why we would like to, get into this call.
Yeah.
We have an office in Ukraine. We have an office in Tampa. We have a couple of spread out offices as well in New Jersey. And probably looking to expand as well, the way that the company is growing.
How is your...
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, how is your team in Ukraine? How are they doing?
So from what I hear, they're doing well.
Okay.
Nothing, I haven't heard anything negative. I am relatively new with the company as well, so I don't really have that much information on the Ukraine office, but for the most part, they are doing well.
Good.
Yeah. Would you,
Desiree, can you spell the name of your company?
Yeah.
Yes, it is REAL, Real, and then Trucking, Inc.
Okay. Would you also mind sending like an email or a pamphlet or anything that you might have to the Ukraine@vectorgl.com email? Because I do know specifically if Vlad is still on, I'm looking here, he's on mute. He's in the Tampa area and we were struggling we had one or two of the carriers that were gonna help load his container. They had canceled the delivery order. So we're always looking to expand our network and our relationships. So this would be possibly something where you could help with, but also just participating and us sharing your information internally in the company would be great.
Of course.
Yeah. And so Vlad hopefully can hear me, even though he's on mute, but he knows that we're working on something for that as well.
be
So
on
I'm
mute
glad you
for long.
joined. Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you have representatives in Ukraine, most of the shipments that we're sending over are going into Poland. And then because the steamship lines are not allowing the containers to go into Ukraine, they're being taken from the port into a warehouse and then being transloaded onto a truck and going into Ukraine. And so if there's opportunity for your company to participate with that, we would love to connect you with our partners, like the agents at destination that can facilitate with that. Because I do know that a lot of the EU truckers are not allowed to go into Ukraine because of the insurance going into like a war zone. And so there's definitely some more opportunity there. And there's been a lot of congestion at the ports in Poland. And so anything that we can do to kind of reduce costs for our customers by having like a point-to-point contact there and putting more kind of capacity into the network there would be amazing. So
Awesome.
sure.
And as always, anybody just joining or having joined before, if you'd like to connect with other people, you can also just include your information in chat.
Yeah. Thank you for going first, Desiree.
Oh, absolutely.
You're like, phew, I'm done.
So maybe I'll go second.
Wonderful.
Hey, my name is Anders, and I'm calling from the company Scan Global Logistics. So we are a logistics provider, freight forwarder, and we have a big division dealing with relief cargo, and I'm part of that and representing the US as well. I'm located in DC, but have been just recently located and have been in Denmark for the past 15 years in our headquarters, dealing with relief cargo, aid and development, and so on. We represent a lot of UN organizations and are doing a lot of transportation for them, a lot of relief organizations, a few in the US as well. And we also have offices in Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Ukraine, a small outfit as well. And so we do a lot of work into Ukraine, and I came about this forum, and I got curious as to what it was about, and maybe if I can help connect some of our some of the clients that we work with, some of the relief organizations, with any of what you do, that could be one impact of this. And and of course it's a very important topic and forum. So curious, and let's see what happens.
Thanks for joining us.
And what, Anders, do you have anything to add about what you're seeing, what you guys are dealing with, or what kind of aid is being sought after the most right now, or just since you've been in this as well, curious for your perspective?
So what we move the most is we load a lot of medical items in reefer trucks. But for UNICEF, for instance, who is one of our bigger clients, it's from their headquarters warehouse in Copenhagen, and that's also like all sorts of stuff really, but also this therapeutic foods, that sort of stuff that's going in, a lot of food stuff initially from some of the World Food Program and so on, but right now it's mainly medical items that we move, and then also of course tents and so on, and blankets, especially this time of year.
Have you seen a lot of heaters in shipment. I know that there's been a lot of requests for heaters. We haven't seen any kind of from a supply standpoint
No, I haven't
from
seen
our
a lot.
connections.
I
But
haven't seen a lot either, actually, and I understand there's supposed to be something moving also in terms of generators and so on, but we
yeah,
haven't seen a lot of requests for that. And the organizations that we mostly work with right now for Ukraine, I'm not sure they would get involved in that type of commodity, but I've heard a lot about it, but haven't seen a lot about it.
Okay.
I've seen so much about it. Yeah.
yeah, we received a request. Christy might remember who it was
From
from.
UNHCR.
Yeah, and they were looking for some specific heaters, and we had gone out to a couple of our customers and they didn't have those either for donation or for purchase or for sale. But if we could share that maybe with you, you might know some people to connect with possibly who might have
Yeah.
those. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I might want to connect with my office who's dealing with UNHCR, because we do have we are moving some cargo for them as well.
Okay. Yeah. Again, we're not the background behind it, because it seems like you kind of jumped into not having a lot of background about what we've done. Is Vector is a freight forwarder and NVOCC, but we are very dedicated to kind of contributing to the collective good and giving back. And so when the initiative, when the war in Ukraine started, we decided to kind of mobilize by setting up a call, which in the beginning was weekly, and then it's whittled down to about monthly now, but really inviting all of our connections, some of our suppliers, some of our customers. Evelyn is an example. I cannot remember how we met Evelyn, but she and Christy might remember, but the more people that we can invite to come and share with what we're doing, we've been able to say, okay, you have this donation and you have this need, we're going to pair you up. If you need help with the logistics part of it, we can help with that. Or if we can't, because it needs to go in a different mode or something, we're going to connect you with the people that can. So it's not meant to be, it's not a sales thing on our side. It's we've been able to work with Hapag-Lloyd, who's given us the shipments at cost. And we've worked with a couple of trucking companies who are giving the drayage portion at cost. So for the ones that the customers are paying for, like there's no markup, anything. It's a complete pass through. And then Vector sponsoring a container a month, and we're paying for the ocean freight and the drayage to get over, Romania, Poland, wherever in that region. They're helping with custom, the export documentation, all of that, really just trying to navigate and help those who are trying to donate or do good and find a way to actually bring that into action. And so I'm glad that it seems like you're part of an organization that does that on a larger scale as well. So
and we also come across companies that will have a request for something, and we'll be happy to pass them on to you as well. If again, connecting dots, I think is the most important thing.
And that's the intent here, because we've had I don't know if anybody from Matter's on, but Matter's an organization.
Vicky's here. Vicky.
Oh, Vicky, hi. If she wants to say, they have lots of medical supplies, not pharmaceuticals, but that they've donated, and we've been able to connect some of their donated goods with consignees over in Eastern Europe. And so otherwise Matter would have a lot more material on hand that they are looking to donate. And for us, it's just trying to help make the connection and find the need and the want and put them together. So we're like a matchmaker in some ways, right?
Great.
I'm glad that you joined.
Thank you.
Hi, Vicky. Sorry, I didn't see her name. It was at the bottom there. Anyone else who's new want to jump in, or not new? Repeat customers can join in.
Okay, maybe it would be me.
Go for it.
And I will tell, yes, what project I'm representing. So hello, my name is Katerina, and I'm CEO of Made with Bravery. It's Ukrainian marketplace where we sell different products produced by Ukrainian manufacturers. So it's very important that all the stuff we sell, it's done. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Yes. So mainly, so all the merchants are from Ukraine, and our main market are in fact US, Canada, and Europe, but mainly Great Britain and Germany, and Poland, as right now we see lots of interest exactly in these countries. But US and Canada, in fact, they're mostly are in our focus, as lots of people support Ukraine exactly over here. So for me, it would be very interesting to listen what kind of support can be done for from logistics exactly point of view, because first of all, we never had this experience before. So because in fact our company, we have different marketplaces, but mainly we are located in Ukraine, so we have lots of experience over there, but you understand that international shipment is a little bit different. So right now we are at the beginning of our way, and right now we use our local player, and it in fact of course you have no idea what it is, because if you don't live in Ukraine you don't know this company, and it in fact uses mainly not private but state companies in every country. So that's why our shipments takes quite a long time. To US I think about 20 days, and it's not so nice, but yes, it's great that our customers are ready to wait for this time period. But yes, we would like to be much bigger and sell much more, because mainly, in fact, we are not commercial, because all the profit we sent to United 24. I don't know if you heard about this program, and in fact, it's a platform organized by Vladimir Zelensky, and it's the platform where lots of people donate, people and companies, and all these funds are given into our critical spheres, I mean in Ukraine, to recover infrastructure, to recover, but mainly I think infrastructure. So for us it's very important to give more power and more possibilities for these projects, as first we support merchants who live in Ukraine, who pay taxes, and it's much we think that it's much better, you know, to help them to make their businesses than just to donate them. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And second, yes, all the profit we sent to this platform, United 24, in order to recover Ukraine. So it would be great if you just, after all, contact me, and we discuss, maybe not here, some ideas what can be done better exactly with shipments. Or maybe you will have some other ideas about partnership with us, because we really we would be very grateful for that support in order to become bigger. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's a really great platform. I've enjoyed looking through it. Very high quality products, really some beautiful stuff. So I encourage, I put the link in chat if everyone gets a chance to take a look at it. It is a really neat way to support. Katerina, what are you hearing from either your team or your merchants? How is everyone doing? Can you tell us a little bit more about
today is a very difficult day, in fact, because today, right now, in fact, in Ukraine, there were 100 missiles were attacked Ukraine from Russian territory. That's why in almost all the cities, I mean, more or less big cities, there are no electricity. And in fact, in Kiev, it's a chaos today because several living houses were attacked. So there are fights and people are shocked. And yes, no electricity in lots of districts, in fact. And of course, no mobile network. So today is very difficult day. And today it's all over Ukraine because today G20 started.
Okay.
So yes, and Russia, of course, told that okay, let's start the game, especially this day, because lots of very important decisions will be taken during these several days. So yes, Ukraine today is suffering, I would say. Of course, it's suffering since 24th of February. But we have some very hard days, and today it's like this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming to the meeting and sharing.
Thank you for invitation. Yes, it's really nice to hear that so many people are ready to support Ukraine in these days.
I know that we have some other new names and faces on the call. And I think that, Chrissy, had you already we had talked about one or two people kind of sharing their experiences with being downrange there.
Yeah, I know, John, I don't know if you're safe and able to talk right now, but I know you were there recently, definitely wanted to hear about your experience. I think, Lee, you have teams or people on the ground too, and always 100 things going on. So yeah, anybody else that wants to jump in, either new or returning, to talk about what you've seen, what you're hearing, or what you're trying to accomplish. Vicky,
Yeah.
you're always welcome to talk to.
Yeah, Christy, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. Hey, guys, I'm just getting to my office here. So it's been snowing in Colorado, so that's been fun. But yeah, I got back from Ukraine. I've been there twice, and we have a water filtration system that is mobile. And then we built a specific military grade backpack for not only the military, but for the civilians and the people of Ukraine. And logistics was very difficult at first, but we think we figured some things out. Thanks to everyone who kind of helped us along and sort of came alongside us to make sure we get these products out there. But that's just a condition when I was there and then left the day before Independence Day. So it was the day before 100 and something, sirens and bombs and all that stuff started in the increase of the war. But we were in Mykolaiv, Zaporozhye, Bucha, Kyiv. We went to the places because we wanted to hand these filters to the people, to the military. I was at the front lines. I was about 250 yards from the Russian soldiers because the soldiers were coming in, being shot, and it was just a very surreal moment where you're watching. When we're in Kyiv, we're going to restaurants, and then and you see the tanks in the streets, and then I'm at the front lines the next moment, and then we're in Mykolaiv. And the bombs were landing that evening. The first night we were there, pretty close to us, just a few kilometers, 2 or 3 kilometers from us. But we still made it to the front lines and are determined to serve the people of Ukraine and give life-saving clean water when they're just struggling and suffering. And so I know this is really more of a logistics meeting, but I'm just thankful for logistics because it's the only way things get to where they need to go. And so I'm just thankful for Vector for doing this. This is my first time on, so I'm just super excited. And it's been fun meeting you guys and hearing your stories. So yeah, it's been great. But our goal is we have over 6,700 products, filters there, and 9,000 backpacks. We need to produce a few more filters and send them there. But I've been able to deliver clean water portable systems to people, gravity fed, so they can just go to any lake, stream, water, any water source minus salt, and just go ahead and get clean water immediately, and it's instant, and it's something that they can do. And so we've just been really honored and blessed to be able to come alongside them. And the next thing that we are doing really quick is we are now working with the defense minister to purchase a lot more filters and backpacks, and we do need to ship them from Manila. Our warehouse is in Manila, and so we need to figure out how do we get them from Manila to Warsaw. Thank you.
Yeah, Murray, maybe we can also connect him to Svetlana. And John, if you will, obviously everybody knows and has heard of water filters. Murray and John and I were actually all at a conference when the conflict broke out, which is how we have met John. And so John, would you also just explain a little bit, sadly, we don't get the full demonstration like we did at the conference, but tell us a little bit more about your filters and why they're different from some of the others, because they are pretty remarkable. And I know you're seeking patents and everything like that. So I wanted everybody to also understand how this technology is so helpful in something in like a critical situation. Oh, you're on mute.
The patent was assigned to us September 6th, 2 months ago. So we're really excited about that. So guys, so we created a small 5.5-inch hollow fiber membrane water filtration system that is rinsable in that. And so the patent is a method patent. We did not invent hollow fiber, but what we created was something that is faster and easier to manage and instant management. And so that was really the critical point, because I built this filter to be able to serve the poor and the marginalized all around the world. And we asked them what type of filter they would want. There's a lot of filters and products out there, but to maintain them, we had to build it in a way that it was quick, it was instant, and really fast. So basically our filter is, like I said, it's a 5.5-inch of hollow fiber filter. It has a couple cages around it, so it protects it. And you just take off the outer cage and you just vigorously shake it in any water, dirty water, clean water, muddy water. And if you shake it vigorously enough, depending on the dirt that's in the water, it comes clean instantly, because you're just shaking off the bacteria and the turbidity and all the dirt and all the contaminants are just coming off the outside, because what comes inside the hollow fiber is pure water. And so we're one of the few organizations that have actually done the work and the test to make sure it is absolute 0.1 micron. And so we had third-party labs to come into our manufacturing company multiple times and do the micron test. And we have been able to do that. And we got certifications that every single hole is absolute 0.1 micron, which is unbelievable that we have that certification. And so that just allows us to be able to stand next to the guarantee that is log 7 hollow fiber membrane. So you got 99.59s after that, absolute clean water. And so that it does it. And what's great about the backpack is made so that it can hold 10 liters of water. You can put it on your back, you can hang it on a tree, put it on my fishing boat, whatever you want to do. You can get water and you can just scoop it up and go. And it's fast. And then, as long as you have, 12, 13, 14 liters or more of water in it, whether it's a bucket system or rain catcher, the flow rate is about a liter per 30 to 40 seconds. So it's very fast, and it's about as fast as your refrigerator. And then when it's in the backpack, it takes about 45 seconds to a minute to get a liter, but just because it's a 10-liter bag in that. So those are the cool things about it. It's a simple hollow fiber membrane. It's light. It's 3 pieces. It's the filter itself, a spigot with a tube, and then the second spigot if you want to put it into a double bucket system. It can be 1 bucket, double bucket, backpack. It can go into almost anything, and it's really, really versatile in that. And so that's what our filter does. Is that good, Christy? How's that feel?
Great. Yes, that is great. Yeah. Sometime you'll have to join us and do the whole thing in person, because it is pretty neat to see.
Thank you.
Of course. who hasn't gone yet and wants to talk? Vicki, we're always great to hear from you. Spencer, you've been collecting letters for us in the children's campaign, and not sure, you're always working with governmental organizations as well. Lee, Nicholas, I believe you're new. Vladimir, you always have good updates too, so you guys speak up.
Great, I can talk for a couple of minutes. For those of you who don't know me, hello, my name is Vicki Bachman, and I work at Matter, which is an amazing nonprofit based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground, just in case you would like to know what's happening here. I think it was 70 degrees a few days ago, and now we're into winter. But anyway, one of the main things that we do is collect medical supplies and equipment that are excess from hospitals and clinics around the country. And we sort through them, and then we find ways to repurpose those medical supplies by donating them again to either hospitals and clinics around the world, but also to medical schools and nursing schools for practice or training purposes on expired products. And this year, because of the Ukraine war, we have jumped in a big way to help support organizations like many of you are on the call today. Lee has been a recipient of many things that we've been donating. Because of our operation, once we go through this sorting process, we are left with high quality, really good mixed supplies. And so we put those in pallets, and we have those available for donation to organizations that can then ship them over to Ukraine for help. And so we are continuing to do that and adding new partners. I've recently met with the founder of Help Ukraine Center USA. They're based in New Jersey, and they are just getting started in the last 6 months. He came to visit us last week and is receiving some things from us. And I told him about this call. I don't see he's on, but I will forward him the recording. So we are looking for new partners. And I guess one new thing that I would like to share with you is that we are starting, because the volume of sort of tactical medicine, tactical things like just basic wound care products like bandages, sutures, stethoscopes, really basic things. We are putting together wound care kits that are in pretty good size boxes, and we will have those available for donation. We are currently looking for corporations that might want to sponsor the purchase of those, so that we can give them to organizations for their distribution. So if any of you would like to learn more about that and want to talk with me offline, I can share a little bit more about it, and just put something in the chat, put your email in the chat, and that you're interested in that, and I will connect with you to share more about it.
And one of the things that I love most about Matter, they've been an amazing partner since this broke out. And of course, before this, working with them, even before this, the Ukraine war broke out and everything. But when we get pictures from Matter, I love that they're all delivered in this wrapping that, so when they come off the truck, the pallets just say "You Matter" across all of it. So not only is it wonderful inside the pallets, all the supplies that are getting there and the difference that's going to make, but just the immediate message, and is such a really neat thing that you guys do. So I love that.
Oh, thank you. I'm not exactly sure of the number, but I think we are now close to about 500,000 pounds of mixed supplies and some equipment that we have distributed through our recipient partners this year that have helped the people of Ukraine.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I jumped in
Come on, Lee, bring it.
Hi, Lee.
here.
I know you just got a new
Yeah,
supply last week. Thank you.
I know, I've got great volunteers. So we've been the recipients of what Matter has sent, and what we've been doing further sorting of these things, relabeling them and reboxing them. And so we put them into fresh packaging, labeling them English, Ukrainian, Russian, and then send those to our partners in 4 locations right now. In Kyiv, Nikolai is on the chat here, and I'd like him to talk to it. At Kutskitskaya, which is just outside of Kyiv, We sent things to Lviv, another distribution center in Truskovitz, and the last 2 containers which we sent went to Uman, which is in the Cherkasy Oblast. And so the feedback we've got really positive. We add to that warm clothing. We work with another partner called Life Rights, and we sent about 50,000 meals, rice-based meals so far. And on kind of have a pipeline probably about twice that much in the months ahead. And then also kind of do some fire protection with the uniforms, helmets, gloves, second stuff for emergency services. But yeah, everybody's been great to work with. Ray, you and the others at Venture have been great. Enabled us to do things that 6 months ago we didn't think we were going to be able to do anything. But we're working well. I'd like to just hand it over to Father Nikolai. He's on the call, and he can talk about what his ministry, what service that he provides him. He's right outside of Bucha and Irpin, and then also they are sending things in terms of medical supplies as far east as Donetsk. So it's gotten there. But before I just sign off, I just would like to say I do have a lot of requests for military grade tourniquets and blood clotting supplies. If anybody has any idea where we can partner, get those going. I've got another source that's been asking for that, and so we can get that moving as well.
Okay.
Lee, would you please, when you get out of the car, will you put in the chat? Are you going to be out of the car before the call is over?
Probably not.
Okay, what is it that you're looking for?
Military grade tourniquets.
Okay. Have you asked Katie?
Hey.
Okay.
They froze, of course.
Yeah, I talked with so but anyway, I talked with Katie, and she couldn't find anything. There's stuff online that's really expensive.
Maureen also said, Lee, that she will ask some of our contacts as well.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, who's next?
Father Nikolai, are you available to talk? Since we've been partnering together for quite a few years now.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a privileged time to be involved in this conference. Thank you, Pastor Lee. I want to thank for all of us who support Ukrainian because it's very important. And now the American people, America is a main supporter of Ukraine, and the whole world looks at this as a model of stability and reliability. I represent a local organization in the Kotsubinsk area. It's a small village between Irpin and Kiev. In the first day of the war, we have a special mission, help for the sake of life. We send a huge humanitarian aid in the east and a different hot point of the war of zone. And our target assistance to those in the region that today are not available in the literal sense. And thank you for the partners, especially Lee Schumann and Hand in Hands Logistic for the supporting medical supplies and clothes. We deliver more of this helping in East and South Ukrainian, especially for suffering people, hospitals, which was destroyed from the Russian occupied, and so we support the soldiers of the first line in the front. Well, and we will be very grateful for all supporters and partners with the people who, or organization, who can to help for us to increase the humanitarian aid for suffering people in the next period of this wartime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How, can I ask how your team and people are feeling? How are they doing?
Yeah, thanks. Today we have a very difficult day, because maybe 300 meters from the Kotsibinsky, our soldiers shoot down the different drones, and he can hear this bomb, and the problem is like I see it is very big and huge, because Russian to provide us terribly attack for Ukrainian civil citizen. That's problem that every one of us live some time in stress, feel some time of stresses, but in spite of that, we are ready to provide our mission trip, helping for all of these people who need support, because every day in the Logos, 100 people to Logos asking about something: food, clothes, medical supplies, medicine, and different stuff, what they really need. We have a great logistic way to deliver the humanitarian aid, especially in the war of zone. And 2 times in a week, we prepare the huge humanitarian aid and send it and deliver in the different hot point of zone of war. Well, we are praying and believe in a victory.
And if you have a website or your contact information or anything like that you want to include in chat for people to reach out to you, then please do.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hey, Chrissy, I have something because I'm driving, so I can't test it on my own. But is there a way that you can download, like an individual user can download the chat at the end?
It's included, and I send it out in the email reports. There's a link to the chat transcript.
Got it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because there's a lot of really valuable information this week in this meeting, and I want to make sure that for those that are new to Zoom, knew how they could go back and grab it later.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else? Okay.
This was wonderful. I mean, this was a great turnout today with a lot of new people kind of coming and sharing your perspective and experiences.
Yeah, for sure. I also wanted to just bring up, I'll put in also in the chat, here is the link to our current letter writing campaign. So we're collecting letters and drawings by kids, for kids, and getting those into Ukraine through our partner network, into schools and children's groups and things like that. So to give them some letters of encouragement in time for the holidays, especially. We don't necessarily have an end date on it. Thanks, Vicki. We don't necessarily have an end date on it right now, but we are trying to collect as soon as possible, just so we can get them there in time for the holidays, because obviously this will be a really difficult time. And I've just been reading stats about children's mental health from the refugee population as well as inside Ukraine. And so obviously tough on adults for certain, but obviously tough on kids too, when they're just trying to make sense of what's happening in their own lives and just have a different worldview. So Spencer, thank you you had your friend collect letters. I got teary just reading through them, and they were so sweet of just their messages of hope and encouragement and the drawings. And we've had, those have been coming into the office. We had our first batch of 100 and something letters for one of our Mexico offices. And yeah, from like, 4 and 5 year olds, I think they were just precious. And so we're collecting those at both of our Mexico offices and our US office, but we do have points of contact at other places around the world. So if one of those locations isn't right for you, then we can figure something else out for that. We just obviously don't want to publish our international teammates' home addresses online.
And Christy, your team made that really great presentation, which I think we'll include in the recap of that for those that are on the call can share.
Yeah, and I put it
forward along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And because of that, our team's been able to really participate all over the world. So
yeah. So we've had everything from classes participating. Maureen used it pitched it to her kids' teachers as a letter writing and, English lesson. We've had, people just talking to schools or talking to church groups or civic organizations, anything like that. So any of those that you can help us collect would be great. And then I think the last thing, unless somebody has something else to add, is we just want to also continue making these calls valuable. So it's great when we have new people join and we have fresher stories to tell. And it's great when people who've joined before have stories to tell, but we also know and have all seen that the interest, frankly, and the aid, everything like that has been dropping off as well. There are certainly other humanitarian and crises and wars to deal with and things like that. So if you have any feedback you want to share now, or if you want to send us an email at Ukraine at vectorgl.com, and just if there's something else you'd like to talk about and see us talk about in these meetings, if there is other messages, other things we could be hit, if you want us to bring in any other type of experts to have specific discussions, but we want to continue making these valuable, these calls valuable for everybody who joins, versus if it's one time or many times, like some of you have, we have a mix today. So if you have ideas that you think would help make the calls valuable or that you'd like to improve, or if you want to talk about something different yourself, then we're always welcome and open to that feedback too. But just always grateful for anyone who shows up. And I know some people, like we said, just sign up because they need the replay because of their own schedule or timing or things like that. But it can never be understated how grateful we are that everybody shows up.
And Christy, Maureen, thank you so much for putting this up and organizing the letter writing campaign, especially. Quick question, do you usually get like photos or feedback from your partners in Ukraine that the letters were received? Because my friend's class was like, are these actually going to Ukraine? And I'm like, yes, they are. So if there's anything that you guys get back, just to show them the impact they have to the children over there, that'd be great.
Yes.
But
absolutely,
yeah, reading those myself, I got goosebumps just seeing how lively it was, and it inspired me to work harder on this topic too. So I know it's meant to inspire the Ukrainian children, but it goes both ways. So thanks for putting that together.
Yeah, we had a batch already make it over there, and there was apparently some video crews and a lot of photos taken. And our contact, Oksana, who some of you have been on the call before, she was helping coordinate that on that side. And they have just not shared those photos or that video with us yet. So when we get it, we'll probably share it with the email distribution that we have on these calls, but we will also post it on LinkedIn and other avenues to share, because we all feel the same way. You want to make sure that when you're doing something, if you can have some tangible kind of proof on the other end to show what an impact it had, I think it will continue the initiative and the energy towards that as well.
Yep, for sure.
Thank you.
I've also encouraged families to encourage the children and grandchildren over Thanksgiving to make that open their hearts and maybe do something together and forward it to Vector.
Oh, that's a great idea, Evelyn. Yeah, we had put the Thanksgiving timing on there just as to have an idea of a good date, but like Christy said, it's a very fluid date. We're not gonna throw out any letters that we get in December, January, February. So the more that comes our way, we will continue to get them to those in need on the other side.
All right, does anybody have anything else before we wrap up today?
Just to let everybody know in Ukraine how much we are thinking of you. What a challenging day you've had after months of challenges, and we care deeply.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We appreciate your time. Know it's valuable, and we will, let's see, the next meeting, of course, I'll send this out via email as well, but it will be December 13th. So I'll go ahead and put that link in chat as well, but you'll get it via email to register for that meeting as well. But thank you all so much for everything you're doing. It's always encouraging, and some of us obviously are watching this safely from our own homes, and some of you are there and in the thick of it. And like Evelyn said, we are thinking about you and here to support you. And it is, none of us can do it on our own. So that's why we're all here together. So thank you so much for your time and energy and effort and everything you're doing to stand with Ukraine. Thanks so much and have a good day.
Thanks, Christy, for taking
Thank you,
over.
Christy and Maureen.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Huge.